Hey loved ones, this is Faye the Oracle, back with another pick a card video. Today we are discussing who is draining all of your energy. This can be people who are possessive over your time, people who are attempting to monopolize over your generosity that you offer to them, and basically just discussing how that's been making you feel. I know that when you are in relationships that have someone be very needy or have the overall, like atmosphere of being codependent, it can really drain your energy. So I was called today to offer some of these here decks for you or piles for you to choose from using petrified wood. Petrified wood is fantastic for grounding, aligning your third eye as well as your root chakra, and basically helping you find stability and peace when you're experiencing a lot of anxiety. So I have 6 piles today for you. We have pile 1 with the petrified wood that I just showed you. We have pile 2 with the amethyst stone, great for metaphysical and spiritual healing. We have another piece of petrified wood here for pile 3. We have for pile 4, jasper, another great stone for grounding and for protection of your energy. Then we have our last piece of petrified wood for pile 5. And then lastly, we have a clear quartz, which has some type of, I guess you would say, like a strain running through it, but I like it because it has some little gold flashes in it, and I think that's pretty cute. And clear quartz is great for gathering the energy of other stones nearby, but as well as cleansing your energy. And I'm going to put these to the side, and we will start with pile 1. All right, pile 1. So let's take a look and see what your situation is, pile 1. Who is draining your energy or possessive over your time? All right, so first thing out of the deck we have is the 4 of Swords. Based on using this card for identifying someone, I would say this is someone who you have likely not been on maybe in communication on a consistent basis, or if it hasn't been a pause recently, because the 4 of Swords does talk about rest. It's something that is a relationship that has been overwhelming you a lot. This could be in terms of it being romantic, platonic, family relationships, what have you. It really does depend on the person, but this is someone you have been feeling very overwhelmed with recently, or may have stopped talking to and recently got back into communication with. Ace of Swords. Oh, excuse me, Ace of Swords. This is clearly a wand, you guys. Ace of Wands. Okay, so this may be a little bit easier in identifying who this person is in your life. With the Ace of Wands representing things associated with passion, energy, oftentimes also sex. This could be someone that, with the 4 of Swords representing, rest. It can also be associated with the bedroom. It could be an ex that you used to have very, the word kinky sex came to mind, but you basically had a very strong sexual attraction or sexual chemistry with, and this could be someone that you either haven't seen in a long time or has recently come back into your life again. And then we have the 5 of Cups. Yeah, so much stronger energy about this being a relationship that either has ended and maybe you guys came back into contact again, or after a period of being very much entangled with each other in terms of having a sexual relationship, that things either have not been going well, or you are finding yourself really kind of hitting a low note with that particular relationship. The word that just came to mind in terms of that was sexual conquest. So it could be that may have been how this person has made you feel. The 5 of Cups is a card that is very much associated with grief, loss, and essentially just feeling very low emotionally. which is really unfortunate because with these two here, with the Four of Swords reverse and the Five of Cups, I would say that it could be an energy also of you feeling very bored with how things have been going, maybe even how life has been going recently. And there could be a need for an overall energetic cleanse just to get you out of that stagnant or feeling overwhelmed or uninspired kind of energy. This also could be someone that you need to communicate with how you have been feeling. The swords are associated with air and communication, and that can be us either talking or, sending maybe some kind of written communication. It could be also that there's a need for a serious reevaluation in terms of how much energy that you have been putting into your emotional relationships recently. The Ace of Wands should be bringing in the potential for a new beginning, especially something related to energetic beginnings in terms of you pursuing a new passion, feeling excited about the direction your life is going in, or with the Wands especially, they can be associated with spiritual energy. So it could be that you found yourself maybe in a period where you were having a lot of hope for the directions that you were finding yourself going in, maybe in, building new relationships, being more social, finding more friends, and that hasn't necessarily turned out the way that you hoped that it would have with this Five of Cups energy here. Definitely feel some notes of fear. I definitely associate the Four of Swords reverse with having a lot of anxiety, or with the Five of Cups especially here, not really wanting to let things run their course and maybe kind of clinging to something that may have been very passionate, very heavy, very enjoyable or exciting for you in the beginning, but it not necessarily having led to the more, maybe, I guess you can say grand climax in terms of it becoming a full-time relationship, or say if it was a project or something that you were trying to start, maybe you were very excited at the beginning and on putting all that energy and getting things started, but things really just haven't taken off in the way that you want. But this is definitely giving me this energy of you really needing to allow things to run their natural course. The Five of Cups talks about us having a hard time with a sense of loss in our life, so much so that, as you can see with this cup here at the bottom being cracked, you could make a big deal out of the mess that comes from that cup being lost, but as a result, you could miss that you have 4 other cups still available for you. And I feel that this is more along the energy of not wanting to let go of something, or even maybe someone that you may have had a very strong tie to in the past. And that can be very difficult because the more that we cling to the past, the longer we stay in this very stagnant energy, and we don't really end up going anywhere or even pursuing new or more exciting experiences because we're really stuck on what we feel like had a lot of value. But the reality is, especially if this is about a relationship, that if you two have unfinished business, there could be some kind of recourse to discuss that and to come to some kind of a conclusion or closure. However, also sometimes closure isn't possible. And the only thing that you can do is allowing yourself the closure of recognizing that anything that is supposed to be for you is always going to come to you, and it's going to be in a way in your life where you don't have to be concerned about it staying. So if this is someone that came, that you had this experience with, and it did not be, like a long-lived experience or end up in a commitment, it's okay, because the reality is that you always have more to offer others who are meant to be with you. Just because someone is a soulmate doesn't mean that they are a lifetime partner. And it's important to make those kind of to have that kind of discernment and who it is that you're meeting, because you definitely don't want anybody monopolizing or being possessive of your time or energy, and you definitely don't want to do that same thing to others, because you can end up kind of just running in place, so to speak. So let's move forward and get some information about what you can do to help with this anxiety, or basically move forward with yourself by removing this person from your energetic field. Okay, sacrifice. Sacrifice in this deck is the Hangman. It talks about us recognizing that oftentimes the things that we want do come with sacrifice. This could be in how, if you want to start a business, you have to sacrifice a lot of time and income and energy to get that business off the ground. If this is a relationship that you're desiring, say you want say you are interested in a same-sex relationship, but you haven't put the steps forward in actually wanting to try to make that connection, or maybe even going as far as to reach out to somebody that you have an interest in and seeing it or exploring where you two might fit in together, whether it be friends or otherwise. This also talks about you recognizing that exploring a connection can offer you a lifetime of gifts in terms of experiences, in terms of a greater sense of self-understanding. But as a result, we have to recognize that we never leave a situation empty-handed. Even if you come into contact with someone and it doesn't necessarily lead to the outcome you want, just by meeting that person and putting yourself out there, you're allowing yourself to enter into a path in life where you go after what you want, that you are able to produce the results that you want, but you have to be with someone who is capable of providing you with what you need, and also offering the level of contact or stability or emotional availability that you desire. But this can also talk about just needing to take some more time to really get to a better sense of understanding of who you are, what you want, and what makes you happy, and recognizing that you don't have to sacrifice anything in the pursuit of those things. It is perfectly fine to say no to any situation that doesn't offer you exactly what it is that you're looking for. All right, love begins. Okay, so this is exceptional, honestly, and I'm getting this energy for someone in particular about you wanting to be friends with someone and maybe not necessarily being sure of what it is that they want. But I will say that it's important that you recognize that in moving forward and building a new connection with someone else, it is necessary for you to come to a better sense of emotional space, maybe even emotional clarity, or just giving yourself a chance to find other things to do to occupy your time, so to speak, as opposed to worrying about how this other person feels about you. It may be necessary for you to speak up about how you feel, but it's also important that you recognize that you have to have a level of confidence in yourself in order to really project the energy that you want the other person to get from you. So say, for example, if you think the other person is very nice, very kind, or they give off a very companionable vibe, you want to be able to offer that same kind of vibe back to that person. So if you've been feeling, down or hurt or not really sure if people want you around, feeling very low in terms of self-confidence or self-esteem, it is necessary to pick yourself up in a way, because you want to be able to enter a situation where you're completely able to be emotionally available to this person. And you can't pour into anybody else's cup when your cup is empty. It is not necessary for you to be completely free of whatever has been plaguing you in terms of, having a lower sense of self-esteem or self-confidence. But it is necessary that you do start doing the work so that you don't replay any potential, bad habits or any issues you have around secure attachments or building connections from your past or holding on to connections from your past even when you approach this person, so that you can have the best possible outcome. Because love is a possibility for you with the Love Begins card, and you definitely want to put your best foot forward and not get too caught up in what happened in your prior relationships, because every person is a new opportunity and every relationship has basically its own motions, and you just have to let things unfold naturally. Okay, we have trapped in fear. Trapped in fear. So trapped in fear is associated with the Eight of Swords, which is all about kind of being trapped in your head, so to speak. Not really able to move forward as a result of anxiety, self-limiting beliefs, a lack of self-confidence, maybe even not recognizing, how much it is that you have to give. Vulnerability does require us being able to acknowledge and accept who we are currently, as well as being able to forgive anything that we may have done in our past relationships or connections, and to recognize that you are a person who does have love to give, and that does come with a sense of finality and recognizing that not everybody is going to be able to love you in the way that you are able to love. And by setting boundaries and negotiating what your needs are, you will be able to navigate a relationship successfully. It just does require you spending some time putting things together in a way that allows you to really kind of find an outline that you need in order to navigate those pre-discussion periods with others, where you're really just trying to figure out what the other person wants and needs, and whether or not you are able to offer that, as well as being able to be open to receive what you want, which is what I feel like is a big thing with the Eight of Swords for you, Pile 1. Is that you also have to recognize that it's not enough to have somebody give you what you want. You also have to be in a space to receive it as well as to return it. And then we have suffering in silence. Suffering in silence is associated in this oracle deck with the Nine of Swords. And it discusses how sometimes we have to recognize that we're just not always going to get exactly what we want or expect from others, and that's okay. But what we can't do is allow ourselves to develop the bad habit of, either acting recklessly, withdrawing from people completely, allowing ourselves to sit in a space where we're overwhelmed with anxiety. All of these things make it difficult for you to relate to anybody. And when you're not able to relate to others, it puts you in a position where you feel as if you're not going to find people who understand you. And what's really important is that you know that you understand you. And by coming to a stronger sense of self-understanding, you will be able to release yourself from this kind of pit of being in this place of sulking or feeling very broody or moody or very isolated and alone. It's okay to know that you need time by yourself to really reflect and go through the emotions that you need to go through, but it's important that you don't stay there. Moving into a place of self-acceptance recognizes that sometimes people are players, Sometimes people aren't as honest as they need to be. Sometimes people are afraid of being vulnerable. And these things can sometimes plague our sense of self-esteem when we go through these motions with others and they don't offer us the level of emotional availability that we need. But regardless of what happens with another person, that's really their business. And you shouldn't put yourself in a place where you allow another person to dictate how you feel because they're not able to manage their own emotions. So putting these to the side for a moment. So these next cards are going to talk about what you can do to prioritize your needs. And here we go. We have the Five of Cups again. And I will tell you, Pile 1, when a message pops up twice, it's definitely important that we listen to Spirit's advice. So in looking with this, I see this person in a bathroom surrounded by frames of eyes that are crying. As they sit submerged in a pool of water, around them are 3 goblets that have fallen over and 2, however, still sit behind them. So I think that It's time for you to recognize that the worst is over and that you may have been putting yourself in a place of kind of having a pity party. And that's no judgment from me. I am always down to throw a pity party. I tell you, I am the first person to get an invite to one of those. And it's sometimes important that you recognize the emotional value of being able to kind of sit in the space of what you're going through and really allow yourself to process these things. But when you find yourself being in a place where this is your reaction to anything that is emotionally trying, it may be time for you to find some other way of having an outlet. One thing I know that can definitely help is having a self-care day. If you have the ability to take a nice hot bath, I would definitely do that for yourself. Prepare that for yourself. Get some nice body scrubs, some soaps, some lotions, anything that you can find that really allows you to offer yourself a sense of calm and love and adoration for yourself. Because I know that you have a lot to offer, Pile One. And it's not your fault that you don't necessarily have exactly what you feel like you want to have in terms of connections right now. But it is important that you recognize that with fives come the number of change as well as growth. And it's important that we don't allow ourselves to get caught up in what has been past situations and allow ourselves to really move forward and try to get into a better headspace so that we can have the connections that can offer us what we need and really enter into a sense of enjoyment. All right, Queen of Coins. See, I knew you had a lot to offer, Pile One. So the Queen of Coins is someone who's very down to earth, very maternal. They're also not a person who is judgmental. They're very accepting of others, and they have a lot to offer in terms of, I feel like, a very specific type of love language. So with this love language, I associate it with acts of service. So doing things for others in order to show that we appreciate and care about them. Also the kind of person who has a natural air of maternity with them. So you could be a mother, Pile One. You could also be someone who is ready to become a wife and become a mother. You could be someone who may be desiring having another person be your partner who you look to as, a wife or a mother. And I think that it's important to recognize that when you are nice to someone, you are doing it from your heart space because that's who you are as a person. The other person taking advantage of your kindness or your niceness or basically trying to do the best they can, it seems like to, I don't know, sometimes people feel like they need to deceive you in order to get things from you instead of just asking. But I want to make the point of pointing out that this has nothing to do with you. You're definitely not the kind of person who really needs to put up with other people's BS just because you are nice or you're kind or you feel bad for them. It's definitely okay for you to firmly establish boundaries with others, even if that means only treating them as a friend or allowing the relationship to leave your life if they don't want to pursue your advice or and moving forward with offering you a level of commitment that you deserve. Because one thing I can tell is that for the Queen of Coins, you're likely someone who has strong ties to nature, and that can also be a strong healing point for you as well, to get outside at any point that you can and really just immerse yourself in everything that makes you feel happy and makes you feel complete. And that could really come from a place of, really recognizing that your generosity should be extended to you too as well, Power One. And you definitely deserve to have more fun. Okay. We have here from my other oracle deck. This is Azrael, the Angel of Death. So Azrael, the Angel of Death, talks about us allowing things to come to their inevitable conclusion. If something has been finished, it's time to accept that it is over. This can be more difficult, in actuality than I have presented it to you. But the reality is, if something is over, then it has been done. It is done. And there's no reason for you to dwell in that. You can definitely move yourself into a place of acceptance and allow the fact that something has come to an end to be a fact, not something that has to even really be up for discussion. One thing I know is that people enter into our lives for really one specific purpose, which is to teach us lessons about ourselves, or for us to teach them lessons about themselves. And hopefully you can take something from the end of this relationship. And you can also recognize that, sometimes people are able to work spells on you and you get really caught up in everything that they put you through. But it's also a good time to recognize as well that you can work spells of your own to release your ties to anyone who is no longer serving you. And by letting go of what no longer serves you, you're able to open yourself up for so much more, Pile 1. All right, and our last card for Pile 1, we have Sandalphon, the Angel of New Life. Sandalphon is a fantastic card in that it talks about us recognizing that when things come to an end, we also offer ourselves the opportunity of things having a new beginning. So it talks about you really allowing yourself to step into a new space of understanding, of recognition of what you have to offer, and that life is still fantastic because it's full of possibilities. And by embracing even one possibility, you open yourself up to a whole nother world of infinite possibilities. So even if this particular relationship is done, it's important to recognize that you are still allowed to go out and have fun. Wallowing in a sense of despair about anybody coming in and then leaving your life, it's just not worth it, Pile 1, because at the end of the day, you have a life to live and you're going to have so many more people who you meet, and you don't want to have yourself being, so, firmly sat in this seat of like upset and loneliness that you miss out on someone who is an even better fit for you. And that really does come with taking some time for you and also learning how to forgive them, and then forgive yourself if you felt like you were tied to this person for too long as well. Because there's one thing is that regrets don't actually offer you anything, Pile 1. All right, so that was Pile 1's pick a card reading. I thank you so much for coming in and joining us with that, Pile 1. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video, and hit that notification bell so that you can see what news videos I come out with. Also, be sure to check the description box below if you'd like to have a personal reading, as well as to check out any other specials or offers I have available. But thank you, Pile 1. Have a good day. All right, jumping into Pile 2, again with the Amethyst Stone. Okay, Pile 2, so who is monopolizing your energy and basically taking advantage of you at this time? So let's see. Okay, so we have the Ten of Cups, so definitely talking about a situation that I think could be associated with a happy relationship, family. Also, it can talk about, I don't know why, but you taking a trip or having something that you need to celebrate that has happened recently. The Ten of Cups is all about celebration as well. I feel like it also comes with this idea or inner monologue, I feel, that has been going on in your mind, Pile 2. Let me see. I'm trying to see if there's any messages that are going to come through from your spirit guides for you. So there's something I feel that you are definitely needing to do. The 10 is a number of completion, and it also, as a result, basically prophesizes a new beginning. So it seems that there is some fulfillment here in something that you have done in the recent past, and you're coming to a energy of completion about that. So if you want more information, if this is something that's in specific reference to you who's watching this, then do feel free to hit me up, and I'm happy to get an energy reading for you and get more details about that. Okay, the High Priestess is here. So the High Priestess. So now this talks about you knowing who or whatever it is in the situation that has been draining your energy, or basically just been floating around on your energy field. This could be someone that you're seeing. And if with the High Priestess, someone you're seeing, either they see you as somewhat of a mystery, Pile 2, someone that they may want to get close to, but they don't necessarily know how to approach you. Because the High Priestess is someone who is very in tune with their spirituality. So you yourself may be a clairvoyant or maybe even into tarot, Pile 2. But it can also, I feel like, talk about someone wanting to be in tune with you. Definitely makes me feel like you may need to contact me for a spirituality reading. But from what I can tell from this, there's something in this energy that has been maybe brought to your attention intuitively, and it's just up for you to listen. But I definitely would say that with the Ten of Cups here, it is associated with your sense of happiness and fulfillment. Okay, so we have the Queen of Wands reversed here. So the Queen of Wands could represent a woman or feminine in your life, but it can also represent a masculine, someone who has a strong feminine energy of drive and self-understanding. But when it is reversed in this way, it talks about you kind of lacking confidence in your ability to accomplish things. And I feel like there may be a bond here that you're concerned about not being the right fit. And getting further into it, not being the right fit and not sure maybe how to exit the situation. Okay, so maybe that's what's going on. So I feel that at some point, maybe you felt very happy about this relationship. It was starting to really blossom in a way. And now that you have been more involved or had more continued contact with this person, you're unsure as to whether or not you should stay. Or maybe if this other person wants more. I feel like this is complicated because there may be multiple situations. So let's see. Let's go to the Oracle cards and see if maybe we can discern some more information. Pile 2. So let's see. So we have spiritual union. And spiritual union is the Two of Cups. Now, we're not supposed to recognize reversals in this deck, but we are supposed to take note of it. And this card did come out reverse initially. It was like this. So I feel that maybe there was a very strong connection at first. Maybe even you having thought that you two were soulmates. But there may have been something that occurred in the relationship that has kind of shaken you a bit. Because the Two of Cups is supposed to talk about a mutually beneficial relationship. So it's usually associated with something in terms of being soulmates, but it can also just talk about the beginning of a relationship that has not yet made it to the more, I guess, the more firm stability that you would associate with the Ten of Coins in terms of it being like something of an actual long-term commitment. But definitely talks about there being a lot of passion in the beginning, intimacy, a very genuine bond at first. We have the Power card, and that also came out reversed at first. So the Power card is associated with the Strength card, and it talks about, the Strength card talks about loyalty, compassion, also something along the lines of releasing harsh judgments, as it's the woman's gentle touch that allows her to tame the lion, and it can be associated with you needing to tame the beast inside of you. I know that the Queen of Wands reverse does give me energy more associated with the Queen of Swords. Where upright, the Queen of Wands is confident, charismatic, sexy, a charmer. Reverse, I feel like she has the energy of being more manipulative, a little bit emotionally unavailable, maybe feeling more distant, and as opposed to being charismatic, she seems more along the lines of having control issues, or maybe even just a bad attitude. Pile 2. So I don't know if this is someone that you are with, or this is the position of the person and how they're feeling about you. But this feels more along the lines of you needing to recognize that if a relationship is going to exist, it has to be beneficial for both of you. There is no room for compromise on that particular aspect. And that may come with you having the Power card because you need to find the courage to leave. Or it could be that you are feeling very low and that this relationship is affecting your self-esteem, where, either way, I would say that if that is, how you've been feeling, that it may be time to, accept that the relationship has run its course, and that you need to like basically clear out and find better for yourself, pile 2. Okay, and then we have the shadow card here. So yeah, so definitely some truth coming through in terms of, I feel like this is the attitude of the person towards you. They may have gone through a lot of traumatic experiences, and this could be causing, or be the reason for why they may be causing so much disharmony in the relationship, having such a bad attitude with you. Because the shadow card talks about us recognizing that we have a light side and a dark side. Our dark side is the seat of certain emotions like, fear, anxiety, jealousy, having self-destructive behaviors, having a lot of negative feelings, maybe even over-analyzing situations or being highly critical. And to be in a relationship with someone like this, they likely come off as very wishy-washy, or having like this energy of flipping back and forth in terms of their mood or the way that they act towards you. And it may really be beneficial for you to recognize that you have no obligation to be around someone who abuses you, basically. Even if it's just that they talk to you the wrong way, you don't have to feel it like, obligation to be there with someone because you feel bad for what they've been through, because they also have an obligation to be kind to you regardless of what they've been through, because you don't want anybody to say that, well, I treat you this way because I've been through these things. Well, you've been through those things and you didn't like the way those people treated you, so why are you treating me that way? So now let's see. So what is coming up in terms of what you need in order to prioritize your feelings? So the Queen of Swords. Okay, so Queen of Swords, it talks about communication, setting boundaries, trusting in your identity, recognizing that other people do not get to dictate who you are or the things that you say or feel. This is also what I have heard referred to as the cleanup card. So basically, the Queen of Swords is someone who comes through with cut off energy. If it is necessary, if you have tried to negotiate with this person or to talk them through certain things, it is perfectly reasonable for you to say that I am tired of defending myself and I'm going to exit this situation, to cut contact with that person. Because to be quite honest, if this is an example of all the emotional drag you've been experiencing, or all of the swinging emotions and things they have been putting you through, they need a therapist, pile 2. They don't need to talk to you about these things. And the reality is that there are so many different sources available for people, many of them which might be free or based on your specific income needs. There's absolutely no reason for you to put up with anything from anybody just because they've gone through some kind of tragedy in their life. And because the Queen of Swords can sometimes represent a mother, if this is someone who's been highly critical of you in your past life or in your, from your childhood to your adult life, you definitely still, as a person, get to decide when you choose to or to not be in contact with this person. You don't need to let anyone's position in your life allow them to be abusive to you. And then we have the Princess of Wands. Yes, okay. So definitely I associate the Princess of Wands, which is the Page of Wands, with travel, with recognizing that a journey of the soul may be necessary at this time. Also, I recognize this with, you needing to have more fun, to feel more alive. It can definitely be that after you've been in this relationship for so long, or been involved with this person for so long, that they've been draining your energy to the point where you haven't really had a good time, And I definitely feel that if that is the case, then either this can represent someone else in your life who may want to step forward and show you that good time. But if I was to say it offers you any advice, I would definitely say that it is time for you to recognize your worth, your growth, and move forward with finding all of the things that actually serve you and can offer you the peace, compassion, and sense of renewal that you need. It's definitely time for you to step into some new energy and let the fire burn away everything else, so to speak. And now I have my Angelarium cards. Okay, so we have Cushiel, the Angel of Punishment. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I love this card. I love this card specifically because it talks about you not needing to work so hard to get back at other people. To not feel that it is necessary to punish yourself by staying in any situation that doesn't serve you. And to also know that spirit has got you. We all have spirit guides, we all have angels, we all have ancestors who are watching over us and who are in charge of our protection. And if there are people in your life who have been mistreating you and basically using or abusing you, especially when they have no reason to, they're going to get their comeuppance. There is karma, and people do gain karma based on whether or not they do acts of right or wrong. And if they've been doing a lot of wrong in your life, pile 2, know that this is your spirit guides advising that they have you and that you only need to focus on doing what is necessary for you. And if that includes exiting the situation and letting the universe have them, well, do it. Give them back to the streets, pile 2. This is Chesed. A fantastic way to end or wrap up the pile 2. Chesed is the angel of empathy and represents the right hand of the tree of life. In recognizing this energy, it could be time for you to recognize that your empathy is better spent on yourself, pile 2. I feel that if you are the kind of person that has been coming through here, that you're not really the type of person to really just up and give up on people. And that level of empathy can sometimes allow people to take advantage of you, pile 2. And while you don't need to necessarily change, it is important that you recognize that boundaries are a super beneficial aspect of every relationship. No matter if it's romantic, familial, or platonic, you have to have boundaries with people around how they use or get access to your energy and how much energy that you are offering to other people. So I definitely recommend that you do some research about people who overfunction in relationships. Overfunctioning in a relationship is basically where you put forth the time and effort to take care of everything for another person, and it puts you in a place where you may end up feeling resentful because this other person isn't fulfilling your needs, pile 2. And with that being said, I thank you so much for coming through today to check out my reading. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to other people how much you enjoy the reading, pile 2. But be sure to subscribe as well, hit the notification bell, and check out any information in the description box below about either booking a personal reading or any other specials that I have to offer. And I thank you so much, pile 2. All right, and now we're on to pile 3. Okay, pile 3. What has been draining, or who has been draining your energy? Okay, and pile 3 is coming with it already. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the King of Wands reversed. And we have the Moon card. Okay, so something told me that pile 3 was going to be straight to the point, and I was right. This is very clear on again, off again energy. So the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords talks about being in these kind of negative energies associated with grief, betrayal, the inability to let go of certain things, maybe even allowing stuff to come to an end that is necessary, because the tens of again are numbers of completion. So they do recognize that certain cycles in our life have to come to an end. And man, the King of Wands reverse. The King of Wands reverse I have a lot of experience with. Because upright, the King of Wands is someone who's incredibly passionate, charismatic, has like maybe this kind of devil may care energy where they just kind of just seem to follow whatever it is their heart wants them to do. They make anything that they need to make successful. And they're really the kind of person that you could really find yourself drawn to with like a kind of a magnetic attraction. But man, when they are reversed, like this, trash, honestly. And I mean that with the, I mean that with the greatest sense of empathy, pile 3, because it's just like the King of Wands reverse is someone who basically uses all of their energy to run amok. They don't keep their promises. They're more likely to have been in an energy of, like, cheating or having affairs or just straight up dishonesty, because they can talk themselves out of so many different situations, pile 3. And it's just like, if this is the energy of the person that you have been dealing with, I completely understand why they've been draining your energy, because it's just like, you feel like, oh my gosh, I love them and I hate them, but I won't let them go because I just need them to act right. And it's just it just leads to this moon card energy where there are things that really need to come to light, pile 3. The moon card is about, like, illusion, deep-seated emotions, moods, dreams, and it's just like, it comes through, I feel like, with the energy of wanting this to be a love that can be repaired. But man, it's like, as soon as you bring up commitment with the King of Wands reverse energy person, like, they are gone. I mean, gone. And sometimes you feel like they're gone so long that they're not going to come back, and then they reappear, and they reappear like that, because if you allow them to, they will just continue to act this way with you. It's just like, because the King of Wands reverse, so the King of Wands upright is someone who lives in their own power, but the King of Wands reverse is someone who's actually, in spite of their inability to commit, they're very codependent. They really need you to elevate their self-esteem by being into them and being clingy to them and being stuck on them. And when you don't demonstrate, like, the level of attention that they need, it's like, they find somewhere else to go and bottom feed off of other people. Yeah, y'all can probably tell that I've had some experiences. So let's see what you need to do to get this person out of your energy field. Okay, we have the crown chakra. So the crown chakra, as well as the number 7, are greatly associated with spirituality, psychic abilities, introspection, and clairvoyance. There could be a lot to this connection that you may have been ignoring from the beginning, pile 3, and that can sometimes come with karmic relationships. So karmic relationships are different from karma. Karmic relationships are basically about us having an agreement that we made in heaven before we came to earth, that you and this other person would find each other, have this relationship where they would act this way, which would cause you to be elevated in some kind of way. And it can be really difficult because they often demand that you expand in a way that you may not have been prepared to do so. So say, for example, if you're someone who is flighty, a karmic relationship may put you in a space where you really want a person to stay, but they don't stay in the relationship with you. And so that is how you get your comeuppance, so to speak, where you learn that if you continue to constantly be, flaky or avoiding, like, responsibility or accountability with other people, eventually you're going to run into somebody who gives off the exact same energy as you, where you feel like there's so much potential there for the two of you to have something, and then they're never there, or they're never clear about what it is they want, or they are just always disappointing you. And I feel that this is like, your spirit guides reaching out to you to let you know that there's more going on, especially associated with the moon card here. There's more going on to this situation than you're allowing yourself to accept and receive. And that it may be important for you to really have a come to spirit moment about what it is that you're allowing this other person to dictate in your life, and how you can make things right for yourself. So let's see. Yes, choose wisely. And choose wisely is a card associated with the 7 of Cups, which talks about you recognizing that sometimes you can have so many options that you can get caught up in the illusion of either thinking that you don't have as many options as you actually do, because you don't have the option before you that you specifically want. It can also talk about being caught up in a fantasy, in a dream world where you're thinking that as long as I stick to this, or I continue to, be in this energy of I want what I want and it's going to happen for me. Sometimes that can manifest exactly what you need and what you don't need. If what you feel like you want is this person who is, non-committal, not trying to actually, compromise or work with you in any way, is not good with communication, is obviously not trying to stay in a relationship with you or to be accountable in any way, it's going to end up being a lose-lose, because you have no control over other people. You only have control over how you feel and the things that you do. And it's important for you to recognize the power that you do wield in being able to choose for yourself, pile 3. And it's important that you choose wisely, to choose things that are only in your best benefit and to let go of anything else that isn't. And then this last card we have is truth. It's time to accept the truth, pile 2. It's time to recognize and reckon with maybe even the amount of lies that you have been putting up with. The King of Wands reverse is someone who does not think anything about manipulating you to get to whatever it is that they want, or to be dishonest in a way to appease you so that they can continue to come and go as they please. If you know that what you want is not what this person is capable to give, it's time for you to acknowledge that and come into acceptance about that, pile 3. Because you're definitely not required to stay in any situation that doesn't make you feel good, and you really shouldn't want to. And also, it's important to recognize that with these relationships, you feel this strong magnetic attraction towards them, because it allows you to really come to a place of recognizing where your true benefit is. You will feel about someone else the same way or more that you have about this person. It's just a time for you to accept that they are not going to give you what you need, and if you continue to stay in this energy, you're only stalling yourself out on the happiness you deserve. Alright, so now that we discussed how to get this person out of your energy field, how do you prioritize your feelings so that you can heal? The Hermit. It is time for you to take a moment and step inside of yourself and really come to terms with how you feel, how you felt, and where you're going. This could require a period of singleness, of solitude, of really getting into a place where you're able to be in an energy of contemplation, where you can face a lot of the dark things that may have allowed you to have stayed in this state, even though you know you weren't getting what you need or deserve. It can also talk about you maybe needing to be more reserved in how you are playing the field, so to speak. And when I say that, it can be in terms of inner healing that you need, and you being able to also recognize that there are boundaries that you need to put in place with other people. If you have the tendency to overinvest, it may be necessary for you to find ways for you to invest less until you really get to know this person a little bit better. That can come from, not being someone who jumps at the first chance to go out on a date, or someone who stop staying up late, wondering if someone is going to call them. Developing hobbies, finding things that you enjoy to spend your time doing as opposed to waiting for this person to reach out to you. That could also come to, you needing to recognize that you have better things to do than to be worried about whether or not someone wants to be in a relationship with you. We all come here for a purpose, and relationships are honestly the frosting on top of the cake. But the whole reason why you're here is to learn how to bake in the first place, pile 3. Prince of Swords. So, this is interesting. So, the Prince of Swords is also known as the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is someone who is very good with communication, but they don't necessarily have a lot of the maturity that comes with being very diplomatic. So when I really see this energy in terms of how to prioritize your feelings, I think that it's important that you start to communicate more freely to others and not being too worried about how they're necessarily going to feel. Not saying, be rude, but really talking about how you feel, saying what you want and taking the necessary steps to make the demands that you need in order to feel heard. Also, if you're spying on someone, it's time to let that go. Like if you need to unfollow them, block them, do whatever else is necessary, I would definitely consider doing that, because the Page of Swords is also the energy of someone being a spy of sorts. Also, one thing that may be very helpful for you is to write a letter to this person about how they made you feel, and then destroy the letter by like tearing it up, burning it. If you have an altar, put it on your altar and petition to your ancestors to help them relieve you of all of these, like, any codependent feelings or obsessions you've had about this person, or maybe even obsessions they've had about you. I definitely know that stalking their page on like Instagram is not going to do you any good, pile 3. Okay, and we have from our Angelarium deck, Duma, the Angel of Dreams. And I'm not 100% familiar with Duma, so give me one moment. I'm going to read to you from the booklet about Duma. Let's see. Hold on, I'm coming, pile 3. Okay, here we go. Duma, Angel of Dreams. Docent to the unknown. Duma is the impetus to doubt a false reality, to crack the shell keeping you from the truth. When the world shifts around you, Duma is your guide. The world is stranger than you believed it to be. What we all dream, we dream together. Those dreams pull together in Duma's cup's hands. Look below the surface of the water. You know you've missed something, and yet you wonder what. You listen closely, and yet you hear nothing. All the while, you dream the truth you think you seek. It is said that Duma and Laliel are connected. The truth of this can only be found within Angelarium. Okay, so that's interesting. This talks about you recognizing any fantasies of what you wanted overriding the reality of what is actually occurring in this connection, pile 3. This talks about facing the reality of what is actually happening and to doubt any false reality that is keeping you from the truth. So we already have the truth card, so we're definitely coming double with this message. I feel that if you have to work hard to find any reason as to why you would continue to act monogamously with someone who clearly has no intent in hiding the fact that they are not doing the same for you, it's important for you to recognize what it is inside of you that is making you doubt your feelings the way that you have been, pile 3. It's important that we recognize that in all things, they have a certain level of energy that we must be willing to commit. And if you're committing the energy to pursue something that you know that you're not going to get with this person, then you are needing to redirect that energy back to you until you've healed enough to recognize that it's time to move forward and put your energy into something else. And this is the last card for pile 3, and that's great. It's Sucklaf, the Angel of Verdancy. And this is a card that talks about the beauty available in this unending space of glorious green where everything grows and nothing ever dies. So let's see. Sucklaf, Angel of Verdancy. The wind moves through the grass in waves, carrying with it the seeds of growth. It flows across the landscape and burrows into the cool soil. Beneath the fallow earth, seeds vibrate and burst, changing the loam. The transmuted life already craving the open air and ecstasy of sunlight. It is nature and natural for plant life to seek the sky and the blessing of the sun. With this simple act, no, prayer. The dominion of such laugh expands. With open hands, such laugh denies decay and defies entropy. All is verdant where such laugh wanders. Let your roots take hold and allow the gaze of such laugh to fall on you. It is the season for blossoming. So it's time for you to really engage in some things that really uplift you and help to seed a sense of growth in your life, pile 3. This can talk about you needing to get back outside and to ground your energy by connecting with nature. This can also talk about you needing to recognize that what you have inside is going to take growth somewhere where there's more air, better access to sunlight, and nutrient soil for these things to grow. And if you have any doubt in your mind at all that this is not where you want to plant your seeds and allow these things to grow, then it is time, I should say, that you would recognize that to be true and know that you must move to a better place in order to grow all the things that you wanted to seed. But I thank you so much for joining us today, pile 3, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and to hit that notification bell so that you can see any future readings that I have. And also be sure not to dwell on any particular energy or outcome for any situation, pile 3. It's important to recognize that people come into our lives, and sometimes it is just to teach us things and leave, and that we can open ourselves up to something new. And if you would like to get a personal reading, please check the description box below, and also check out any specials or offerings that I may be having there. But I thank you so much, pile 3. Have a good day. All right. I'm sorry, pile 4, but this is the Jasper Stone for pile 4, and we are now discussing what is going on and what is draining pile 4's energy. Okay, so we have already the Knight of Coins reversed. The Knight of Coins reversed talks about where upright, moving consistently and making incremental changes over time eventually leads to great success. Reverse, not only are things moving slow, nothing is happening. So it's kind of an energy of stagnancy, either in being impatient or just another energy of someone maybe not putting in the time and effort necessary to see these things grow. Okay, and then we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, interesting energy already. Because the Queen of Swords reverse is someone I would associate with having like a lethal mouth. I mean, being able to eviscerate people just with their mouth alone. Where upright, the Queen of Swords is someone who's diplomatic, who has a great way with words, and doesn't mince words and tells it like it is, but people love her for it. Reverse, she's bitter, cold, very reserved, and especially if this is usually something that happens to folks who are usually very opinionated, but they have a habit of not letting things go. And so as a result, it seems that somebody moving slow and getting to the results you wanted may have caused this atmosphere with you, pile 4. And here we go. We have the Page of Swords reversed. So the Page of Swords reversed as well. I would say that with this energy, someone has probably lied to you, because the Page of Swords is a card of reverse is a card of lies, gossip, mishandling conversation, so to speak. It's someone that you're trying to have a talk with, and it just feels like no matter what they say, they have this energy of trying not to agree. So I would say that with these 3 here, the Knight of Coins reversed, the Queen of Swords reversed, the Page of Swords reversed, somebody is not trying to commit the time that they said they would commit, and you are fucking tired of it. You are tired of it, and as a result, arguments abound, fighting, gaslighting comes to mind. I feel like it's the kind of thing where you block each other all the time, it's just like real chaotic energy. of someone who seems like they have a phobia of anything associated with people pleasing, because the Page of Swords reverse is just someone who I feel like just tries to one up everyone. If you say anything that they've said is a lie, then they will, they'll triple lie because you've accused them or found or saw through one lie. This is not the kind of person that I feel like shares anything close to a peaceful energy. And it's the kind of thing too where I would call them a player. If it was a different card, but it doesn't feel like player energy. It just feels like somebody who's a try hard. You know what I mean? Like, they're temperamental, they fly off the handle all the time, they get really angry, but they're also incredibly sentimental in a way. And I feel like they also use this to like project this know-it-all like kind of energy about like always feeling like they have to have the last word, or that they're too intelligent for whatever it is you're trying to communicate with them. And it's just a lot. It's just a lot, and it feels like something where you get no peace. Okay. And so this is representing how to get this person out of your energy space. And this is movement, choices, decisions. And this is this card is... what is this card? This card is the... I think this is the Two of Coins. Yes, this is the Two of Coins. Okay. Two of Coins. And constantly arguing with this person. All right, so I feel like this relationship has been a balancing act in terms of what it is that you've been made to endure. And the thing is that what's being really pulled to my attention is these multiple doors. So with these multiple doors, it talks about you having the ability to have multiple choices that lead to different things. So like, this person is standing before a door full of gold coins, a door with these two, what appears to be wedding bands, a door to what is a peaceful or verdant new beginning where something can grow, and then a door that leads to the sky. And I feel like this is the energy of it's time to go. Most of the other readings we had, I think it was discussing people needing to move away from something in their past, people needing to recognize that they're in a relationship that just can't last, people needing to recognize that, somehow they just got hitched together with a player, and that's likely a karmic relationship that they are really better off allowing them to serve them through a lesson. But this one, this says to me that this person is all talk and no action, and it is time for you to demonstrate the amount of intelligence the Queen of Swords has, and no longer allowing this person to hold your attention at all, or to make you have to demonstrate some kind of, I feel like, level of attention given to this situation. It could be a multitude of situations I'm feeling about this particular pile, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. It's just somebody that doesn't have anything to say that is to your personal benefit. It is completely up to you to no longer be involved with this one, or better yet, to completely disengage yourself and to move on, or to find somewhere else to be, because it's just like, I can only imagine having to deal with this kind of stuff regularly. Like, it's like people are really just fugazi. They go off about anything, and then want you to actually commit enough to care, even though that they're making a big deal about something that's very small. And it's just like, who has the time to care about that? Definitely not you, pile 4. Yeah, okay, here we go. Deception and envy. And this is the 7 of Swords. So it's like, like even more energy about somebody being a liar, being deceitful, betrayal, probably talking about you behind your back, likely out of envy, and feeling as if you have things that they want, and it's just like just people just treating you badly because they feel some sense of lack within themselves, because jealousy is about you being scared someone is going to take what you have, but envy is somebody feeling like you have something they want, and they are they are burning up with hate and disgust about that. And it's just like, who has time to be looking around in the current state of things that we have and being like, oh, you have something that I don't feel like you deserve. It's like, good sir, good madam, good they, good them, like, please step aside and go find something else to do, because it's just like that straight up energy of oh, are you in my business? Don't do that. If you're minding my business, then who is minding your business? We don't need that kind of energy. And your spirit guides agree with me, because we have the moving on card, which is the Six of Swords. We have so many swords in this reading. And then the other things we have here are coins. So if you've also been involving in this person's finances in any kind of way, like giving them money or giving them a place to stay, it's time to give them the boot. To be quite honest, I feel like if you've been living under one roof with this person, no wonder they've been stressing you. No wonder they've been stressing you. And they probably, it's like, I get this feeling of them been trying to hex you too. The thing is that people don't have to actually believe in witchcraft to cast stuff against us. They can just really wish bad on us. And that energy, it's like, if you have any means of just trying to gather protection for yourself, like with stones, like black tourmaline, which literally absorbs negative energy, protective stones like quartz, specifically this jasper, which is good for protection, but this amethyst is also good for protection and just pulling negative energy away from you. It's just like people come in and they're just a burden to you, and then also at the same time they want to dictate all these things that you're supposed to be doing. And it's just like, why would I fall in line with somebody that's beneath me? And that's that has nothing to do with you thinking you're better than anyone. This is someone actually acting in a way that is not only immature, it's infantile, and the thing is that it seems like some kind of change in relationship status is in store, and I feel like it's time to really show somebody the door, because the reality is that we all have spirit guides, we all have ancestors, we all have angels. There's somebody out there that will help this person get sorted. Say a prayer to them, for them, on their behalf if you have to. I'm about to kick this person out, so y'all may want to gather around them to help them with the aftermath of that, because they can't stay here anymore. Let's see. And these next cards talk about how you can prioritize your own feelings. We have the Five of Coins reversed. And Five of Coins reversed. I would feel this talks about you needing to let things take the course that they need to. Because the Five of Coins upright talks about you basically feeling left out in the cold. You've entered a period of lack in your life. You see this eye looking up at this person from this dark hole, because it talks about poverty, just being low, just being out of or in a tight financial situation. And when it's reversed, it's supposed to be talking about you having exited that energy, financially bad situations finally making a turn for the better. This could have come in the form, I feel like you have receiving some kind of letter from someone, file 4. I feel like there is more in store, but you have to be in the energy of being prepared for more, and it's hard to do that when you have somebody literally, fucking around in your energy field, draining you, especially if they've been draining you financially. It's it's not helping you, and by getting clear of them altogether, I think you'll start to see a lot of these financial issues just start to disappear. Yeah, here we go. And we have the King of Coins. So the King of Coins, or the King disc in this deck, is someone who has reached a place of financial balance, is very stable, is someone who is generous, and somebody who is able. I feel like if this is the energy that you have been demonstrating for this person, then definitely know that you are capable. These situations may have been, here is a lesson, and sometimes people can be a gamble. They take advantage of a situation because they know that you're kind enough to let them in, but it's like also at the same time, if financial stability has been a worry for you, do know that the King of Coins definitely is a good omen for some things changing for the better in terms of that realm. Once again, they're pointing my attention out to a letter, and this is for somebody in particular, that there's a letter that you're either going to find or receive, that it's only a matter of time, apparently, before you have more than enough left to give them the boot, so to speak. So I'm really hoping that things do start to turn around for you. Right, and we have Zachriel, the Angel of Memory. This is a card that talks about basically recognizing that our memories are references to a point in time that is no longer in existence, and that if we allow ourselves to be tied to that place, we completely miss the opportunities that we could be receiving in the present. This talks about also, I feel like, an energy of PTSD, and also recognizing that what's coming through specifically for you is that this was a lesson, and it may be hard at first to be lonely, but you also need to recognize that there is a medicine that comes with being on your own, and the fact that you get to have a greater sense of benefit. You get to recognize your personal gifts and what you have to offer others. If there's someone, say for example, they're taking advantage of you being generous or your financial stability, then in recognizing that you deserve better, you can also release yourself from the energy surrounding that situation, and you can find someone who was a better fit, someone who can actually offer things to add to you instead of take from you. And this talks about you releasing a lot of whatever it is that you have been dealing with, and to really come into an understanding that it's a part of your past, and you no longer have to feel tied to this relationship energetically or financially. Okay, and this is Material, the Angel of Rain. And give me one moment. I want to read from the booklet again, because it's beautifully written in discussing her particular portion, because sometimes the other sections really just offer, I feel like, an excerpt from the author about what it is they thought they were trying to say or do, and then you just really have to find what works for you in the passage. So here it goes. Material's touch is felt, seen, and heard. Its presence is heavy, filling the air, saturating the ground. Material is heralded by thunder clapping through the sky, signaling change and shift. There is a great migration coming, and it arcs like lightning. The potentiality from one body is moving to another, a precarious transference, a swift communion like the arrow taking its target. Awareness is paramount for the journey. Don't try to create an outcome for your future. Be in the moment. Let the rain fall where it may. That's beautiful, because it talks about letting things just kind of fall away and being present. Say, for example, if this was a situation where you have been trying to figure out how to move on, it's important that you let go of any fears that you have associated with anything that may have happened in the past. If, say, for example, it was a decision that you made that started this financial hardship, that you know that as a result of those things having happened, you've also learned more about yourself and about certain situations. And by using that information, you can put yourself into a better position in the future by taking all the actions you can currently in the present. And I really appreciate you coming through with us today, Pile 4. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and to hit that notification bell so that you can see the next time that I post some videos. And be sure to check the description box below to see if I have any specials or offerings you're interested in, as well as to how to book personal readings. But I thank you so much, and I hope you have a good day and continue to grow in the ways that you need to, pile 4. All right, now moving into the energies of pile 5, which also has another petrified wood here. So pile 5, what is draining your energy or monopolizing your time? We have the 5 of Wands reversed. Interesting. So the 5 of Wands is a card that talks about competition, basically making the world your playground. It can sometimes represent an internal struggle or coming to some kind of conflict with others. It's different from the 5 of Swords, which talks about having a conflict where there really is no winner, because one person goes overboard to the complete sacrifice of everyone else in that situation. With the 5 of Wands reversed, I feel like it talks about you coming to a level of completion about a specific conflict of, if not words, or specifically a conflict of energy with others. This could be someone that you have had a power struggle with specifically. It could also talk about needing to recognize that it's time for you to play the field, so to speak, if you have been in a difficult situation, be it in work or a relationship previously. Because the 5 of Wands is all about energy. Okay, and then we have the Tower card. So this is a sudden change of an event, the collapse of something that may have been built on a faulty foundation. With the 5 of Wands being a card of competition, it could be that recently you've decided to quit a job, or maybe you've had a job that you have lost. But this definitely talks about sudden insight or understanding in a situation, and then the inevitable collapse of illusion about that. So that could be disillusionment in general. If you had a job for a while and you've come to find that you just don't like it, or you're not getting what you're entitled to. Okay, and then we have the Emperor reverse, and that's interesting because the Emperor upright is someone who is very stable. They're a great leader. They're usually associated with family in terms of being a father or a husband. They're someone who usually has a lot to offer, even though they can be very rigid. But in reverse, this is someone who's tyrannical. They are often, complicit to oppressive ideologies or policies or behaviors. This could be a boss, for example, and somebody who is constantly taking advantage of your labor. So let's see, how does your guide suggest you move out of this energy? Okay, so we have the solar plexus. The solar plexus chakra is where we have what is referred to our I am energy. This is the energy that allows us to be fueled with self-confidence, high self-esteem, but it's also the energy of you standing up for yourself and telling others what your needs are. This is where I feel as if there has been some kind of alignment that is needed but has been off as a result of this situation. So if this is related to a job, so to speak, or someone who is in a higher position to you, then it may be time for you to step up and speak up for yourself about what's been going on. Okay, and we have the triumphant success, which is coming up reverse, but we don't recognize reversals, we just take note of them. So the triumphant success card talks about you having more confidence basically in what you have to say, and moving forward on your ideas or capitalizing on any situations that are to your best benefit. This is associated with the Ace of Swords, which is all about truth. Truth coming to the point of you either receiving a certain level of clarity, or truth coming from you taking a new mental stance, so to speak, in how you pursue things, decisions that you act on, and movements that you make. So it could be time for you to shake things up, so to speak, by stepping up and either trying to take more charge or trying to wield more power that you may not have been using on or acting on recently. Pile 5. So let's see what they say that you need to do in order to prioritize your feelings. It's the Six of Wands reversed. Okay, so the Six of Wands upright talks about recognition, reward, and victory. In reverse, I feel this talks about you not recognizing your own abilities as well. Pile 5. It's a card that talks about feeling as if you are at some or suffering some kind of loss. That there's a situation that you can't possibly win in. And I think that it's important to recognize that when cards come up reverse, they are basically talking to us about the energy that we are currently in. So it could be necessary that with the solar plexus chakra, as you can see, they're the same color, that this is what you're lacking in this situation is confidence and self-trust. And that by moving more deliberately in a way that allows you to stand up for yourself, to dictate what you will and won't do, and to try to make people come to a better compromise with you by negotiating your needs, that you may finally start to see what you want to see in whatever field you're in. Yeah. And then the last card for the tarot for your advice, pile 5. This talks about justice. Justice talks about us needing to align ourselves with a greater sense of understanding of what we have, what we need, and then negotiating that with others. But it also talks about us knowing that if this is a situation where you haven't been having what your needs or desires are respected, that by taking the advice that they've said about standing up for yourselves and making more actions on your ideas, that things will play out in your favor because you have some divine guidance going on here. And it could be that you may not have been properly compensated for your labor, pile 5, and in standing up for yourself and maybe asking for a raise or even turning to someone you respect for advice could be what's in the cards in order to see the changes that you want to have made. All right, and let's see what else is here. Okay, we have Bina, who is associated with knowledge. That's great, actually, because I feel that this, with especially with you having had the Justice card and the Ace of Swords, that there is a knowledge or a ideal that you've had for a while, and it's time for you to act on it and to trust your ability to act on your own accord, so to speak. Bina talking about knowledge also talks about us recognizing what we have to offer. And I want to get more insight into this for you by reading from her passage. So give me one moment. Here we go. The third emanation, a flow of light that pours into the world, a candle whose flame may light another without diminishing its own. Bina seeks not only creation but purpose. She is a flare of pure intent that blossoms from the heart of existence and out into the world. Her energy brings with it a desire for knowledge. She is the force that churns all the potential from higher emanations into a form that can be received by our consciousness. Bina sits atop the pillar of severity, heading the feminine aspect of the diagram, creating a perfect balance with Chakma at her side. Together they represent a continuum of psychic understanding. While Bina represents the power of knowing, Chakma reveals the power of not knowing. One acts as a vessel as the other fills that vessel, giving it purpose. And it says that this is associated with learning, shared experience, and creation. So definitely telling you to trust that your ideas are good ones and that you do have something to offer into any situation. So let's see. This next one is Remiel, the Angel of Visions. So Remiel talks about us having something specifically in mind in a way that is kind of foreseeable. So I do feel this does talk about you probably having a very strong third eye, pile 5. And what that meaning is that you have the ability of clairvoyance, which allows you to see things from distance. So if there's something that has been coming to you that feels like sudden insight, it is probably exactly what you think it is. and that it is now time for you to act on that and to share these ideas with others. When we leave things only existing in our head, we sometimes lose the ability to shift other people's attitudes by sharing the insight or the information that has been coming to you. And so I'll read this passage for you as well. The shepherd of good graces, a shining light in the distance, beckoning us forward into the future. The green pastures beyond the next hill are hard to see. Remiel assures us that things will get better. It whispers something is coming and it is beautiful. Keep pushing toward the horizon, toward the setting sun. As the light fades, you feel as if someone is watching you. Far in the distance, you see a lone figure walking, a dove on its shoulder. You stop for a moment to marvel at this vision. When you move again, it is gone. You hear a flutter of feathers as the dove lands gracefully on your shoulder. And this really talks about, I feel like, passing the torch to someone. So it could be that you are getting older, pile 1, and there may be some things that you want. Pile 5. Maybe you should check out pile 1 since that just came out of my mouth. It could be some things that you are wanting to pass on to someone or something that someone wants to pass on to you. So if you feel that you have a particular truth that you've been wanting to share, now is time to do so. Also, it's time to get prepared as well. So if there have been things that you have been putting off due to self-doubt, it's time to release those things and to recognize that the time to act is right now. But thank you so much, Pile 5. Yours was pretty short because I really only accept the number of cards that the spirit guides give me when they pre-shuffle. But be sure to like, share, and subscribe, to hit that notification bell so that you can see any new videos that I have coming out. Also, be sure to check the description box below for how to book a personal reading or any other services or specials I have to offer. But thank you so much, Pile 5. Have a good day. All right, and now we are here at pile 6 with this clear quartz again. Very good for cleansing energy fields. And so now pile 6, what is plaguing your energy, draining you or bringing it down? The Fool card. Okay, so definitely popping off with pile 6, our last pile. So this talks about there being some new endeavor or new adventure that you want to undertake, and that it's time for you to take a leap of faith, so to speak. The Fool card talks all about recognizing that if there's anything that you need in order to learn, in order to grow, that sometimes there is risk associated. And by stepping out into what feels like your true purpose, you allow the universe to create that reality with you. It also talks about you embracing whatever new experiences are before you by taking advantage of opportunities. Okay, and then we have the Empress reverse. That's great, honestly, because the Empress card is so positive that even reverse is still a great meaning. Upright, the Empress represents abundance, fertility, creating something from nothing, basically being able to manifest things casually. But it also talks other people finding you to be an emotionally available person and someone who is very kind and caring. I refer to it as the bad bitch card because it's just the kind of energy that comes from someone being very heavily tied to their divine feminine energy. It can also be somebody in your life who wants to enter into some kind of matrimony with you. So let's see. So with this card being reversed, I feel like there's some truth that you're not accepting about yourself, likely tied to your sense of self-worth. Because honestly, the Empress is somebody who has so much to offer that when this card comes up reversed, I feel that it talks about you not really believing in that. It could also be that there could have been some kind of hurt associated in your past that has caused you to kind of withdraw a little bit. And with the Fool card and the Empress card here, they're trying to offer you advice on how you can figure out what it is for your best benefit. Because in the story of the Arcana, the Fool starts with it being number 0 and goes on a journey where it meets all the other major Arcana cards who teach the Fool certain lessons. And as a part of that lesson, the Empress is the one who cares for the Fool on his journey. She feeds him, she clothes him, she helps to restore him basically to the energy that he needs. And it is the Emperor who teaches the fool how to take care of himself, so that as he moves on to this next leg of his journey, that he is able to take actions to his best benefit. Okay, and we have the Strength card reverse. Man, what is going on, pile 6? What's been stealing your self-confidence, your courage, your belief in yourself? The Strength card definitely talks about there being an imbalance as well. These 3 cards, if coming up upright, they herald a great new adventure, a new beginning for you. And this talks about all the hesitancy that you have around whether or not this is for you, or if you are deserving of it. And I definitely can tell you that whatever it is that is occurring right now, whatever opportunities are before you, you're definitely deserving of good things, pile 6. Okay, and then we have the 7 of Cups. So with the Cup card being here, I do wonder if this is specifically romantic, if there really was something to love or matrimony or some kind of offer of long-term commitment. And it could be that you feel as if either you or this other person has so many options that you're not really sure as to whether or not this is the right fit for you. The 7 of Cups basically talks about being overwhelmed by your options to the point that you sometimes get into an air of disbelief or illusion about what it is that you actually are wanting. And it may be time for you to take a moment to really get some clarity about what it is that you really feel like you want to be doing right now. And it could be time, if you haven't already, to start working on some affirmations. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that can help guide you through affirmations. I do mine every day when I'm in the shower. I just put one on and I just I repeat back word for word whatever they say to me, and it's helped amazingly with my sense of self-confidence and also my manifestations. So let's see what they talk about you need in order to remove this energy from your energy field. Okay, we have third eye chakra. So apparently you also have some skills around clairvoyance, being able to perceive things that other cannot, to have visions of things moving forward. Could also talk about you having a lot of dreams that you have not been acting on. But with the third eye chakra being here, could also talk about you needing to open up that space. So as I was mentioning before, petrified wood can also help you with opening up your third eye chakra. And it can also offer you the guidance or wisdom that you apparently do have to come forward. I mentioned affirmations, but it could also be a good option for you, pile 6, to try journaling and basically talking about all the things that you are deserving of. One technique I have done is that these are all things that I am deserving of, even if I don't believe them to be true, and just start writing down anything that you've ever felt hesitant about accepting in your life. Also know that if there is a vision in your life of something that you want, that is to pursue that and to not allow yourself to get into a place of self-doubt about it. Okay, great, because we have the material and spiritual prosperity, which talks about a even give and take in order to come to a place of stability, whether it be financially or energetically. This particular deck does have a booklet as well, and if you give me a moment, I would love to explore that with you, because it offers a lot of things that you may find brings you a lot of truth. So give me one moment, pile 6. All right, so this is material and spiritual prosperity. The number 6 physical card represents a peaceful, tranquil time when problems seem to actually disappear. A sudden bonus, pay raise, or even a promotion could be in the offering. It could be expected or arrive out of the blue. This card may also signify a group that has worked and strived toward the success of a common goal. A time of prosperity, balance, and harmony in your physical and spiritual existence is showing you that the practice of giving and receiving will bring you true riches. Look into your life and see where you can spread spiritual and physical wealth. Is there a person or a favorite charity that would welcome an act of kindness right now? Practice generosity, gratitude, and compassion so that you continue to prosper in all the areas of your life. And one thing I also will say about receiving pile 6 is that when you refuse acts of kindness or offers of love from others for no other reason except that you don't feel like you're deserving of it, or you're worried that whatever it is they're trying to offer that you won't be able to pay it back, it's good to step away from that, because when people offer us things out of kindness and compassion of their heart, we have the opportunity of accepting those things to allow them to receive a blessing for what they have done. So in refusing these things, you are also refusing people to be able to step into the blessings that they are owed for doing right by you. Just to give you a different perspective as to why to avoid that kind of I don't deserve it kind of attitude. Okay, we have conflict and defeat. This is very much Five of Swords energy, which talks about you really feeling down, stressed out, or in deep conflict with yourself about something. Most of the cards that we've gotten here are really associative with our sense of understanding of ourselves, our perspective that could affect our self-esteem. And I'm really wondering if you've been struggling with your mental health as well, pile 6. It can be very difficult, I feel like, to find a unique circumstance where everything that's occurring or happening feels like the right fit. But it's important to recognize that you can take baby steps in any situation. Even if it feels like things have been going badly lately, there's always something that you can learn in this situation to be of your best benefit. If it's for example, if you get into an argument with someone about something, this gives you a chance to really come to understand how you felt, how they felt, and where a compromise can be possible, and the understanding that situation gave you both. If this was a situation in where you felt like you wanted to be removed from something, but you didn't know how to express how you felt, it's sometimes important to recognize that in and of itself, that inability to basically talk or stand up for yourself, that could be associated with something else. And being able to name the source of our traumas or triggers allows us to come to understanding about them. And that understanding can come to acceptance, and that acceptance can come to releasing it and moving away from that. So if you've been in a situation where maybe you've had a past where you were dealing with a lot of lack, and you're moving into a situation with someone who hasn't had a life like that and they have a lot to offer and give, definitely know that people show love with whatever they have resource on hand. So if that is financial and they want to offer you that financial resource as a show of love, definitely know that if you're not in the energy of taking advantage of them, then you're more than welcome to say yes and accept it and just do right by them, to show that that you are in gratitude and that you don't want them to think that this is something that they have to do to lose you. If it's a show of love and you've never been, receiving love like this before, definitely accept that love and then offer them, what you have to give in return to show love as well. The thing about it is that, people can give to us, and just because you can't return what they have doesn't mean that you don't have anything to give back. So say, for example, I've definitely been in situations in the past where my finances were very tight, and people have decided to give, to me, to help me, to support me. And I give back everything that I can, and am able to do. So even if that's just like, I have extra food, so I prepared some food, would you like some? Or, they're going through something and I'm just there for them. People have a lot of things that they find to be valuable and worthy of their time and energy to give back to you if you're giving to them. Okay, patience. So patience definitely talks about going within, giving yourself the time necessary to heal, to gather your energies, and to really get into a place of being able to express how you feel and what you need, pile 6. This talks about also needing to take the time to see things grow. Anything that you may have been going through that may have been moving slow is going to come to you, but it's just important that you are patient and give it the time to. All right, and then we have obstacles and challenges, which interestingly enough came up reversed. And this is also the Five of Wands in this deck. So I feel that it talks about you recognizing that a lot of the things that you have dealt with are already in the past, and it is not necessary for you to continue to carry those feelings with you or be on the lookout, because sometimes when you go through a lot of trauma or abuse, you can end up being hyper vigilant and always worried about the next time you're going to have that experience. But sometimes being able to recognize that what we are looking for is really just shadows of our past, we are able to put aside those fears and move forward. If this is something that you're worried about not lasting, well, I say that the cards that are presented here could show that you have everything that is necessary to make it last, but you just have to believe that you do so. Okay, pile 6, and you got quite a few cards here for how to prioritize your feelings and basically start acting on things to your best benefit. We have the Four of Coins reversed. And it's interesting because the Four of Coins upright talks about someone being so concerned with losing things that they don't take the actions on the opportunities that are available to them. And with this card being reversed, they're definitely telling you it's time to let go of those feelings and to also let down your guard and open up yourself to more vulnerability. It will definitely serve you in the long run, because even if sometimes you are scared of what's going to happen, recognizing that you always have the ability to honestly wall yourself back up in if necessary. You just recognize that you've been through a lot already, so there really is a lot that you're capable of handling, and that you have the ability to say no. But also at the same time, the Four is associated with foundations, and foundations are all about having stability. So there could be that you have reached the stability that you desire, but you just have to recognize that it's there and it's there for you to enjoy. Okay, we have the Princess of Discs, which is the Page of Coins reverse. So this definitely talks about, with the Page of Coins, there being a moment of you not necessarily really acting on or seeing the potential that you have to build something stable here. The Page of Coins is someone who recognizes that the coin, or whatever the coin represents in terms of whatever they find to be valuable, or the whole deal or dear, is worth putting in the time and energy to see it to its full potential. That full potential could be interpreted as the Ten of Coins, which is, completion, financial stability, or also can talk about long-term commitment. And with the Page of Coins reverse here, it talks about you needing to recognize that there are some things that you want that are going to have to require you to take a chance on. And by taking that chance and putting in the time and energy you need to see it come to fruition, whether it be romance or even work, that you will get what you want. But it's just going to take some time and effort. All right, we have the High Priestess. So definitely affirmations here are necessary, because your higher self, or the best version of yourself, does exist inside of you. It is just currently being walled off or drowned out by your feelings of fear. There's a lot here that I feel like you are able to recognize intuitively, that you have more understanding about than you may have really thought originally, and that by giving yourself the time to really come to terms with what it is that you've been feeling, you can really clear out all of that I would say like just mindless chatter that's going on energetically and mentally, and come to exactly what it is that you want to do, or how you want to proceed here in this matter. And then we have the Hierophant. So honestly, learning to let go a little bit would definitely be to your best benefit with the Hierophant, because while the High Priestess is so deeply in tune with her spirituality that she recognizes that it sometimes is time to sit passively and not necessarily act on or share all that you know, the Hierophant is the person that specifically acts as a go-between between spirit and the human world. It also is a card very much associated with entering into a higher level of commitment, like marriage. It can also talk about organizations, ideals, traditions, and having a strong belief system, specifically religious. So there's been some things here that have been a part of your upbringing that you've been wanting to reconsider, or if there were things that you felt like were, I don't know, maybe out of your league, then I think it's time for you to recognize that you actually have all of what you need already to make the best life possible. And it just may come with some kind of compromise. It could also talk about you guys being much more compatible than you are even giving yourself the ability to realize, because you can see these two people before them praying to the Hierophant. In some decks, I've seen these two people specifically being like a couple who are standing before this religious figure in order to have themselves join in marriage or some kind of matrimony ceremony. And that these two keys here also represent that you both have a key that is necessary to unlock this next level of relationship commitment. All right, pile 6, and we're almost done with your oracle cards. So let's see here. We have Gabriel, the herald of angels. We have Israfel, the angel of song. We have Samikiel, the angel of vengeance. And we have Chakma, the angel of wisdom. So I definitely would say that the association I have between these two, the herald of angels and the angel of song, is that I feel that there have been messages you've been receiving or feelings that you've been having that you have known all along exactly where things were going well, but you were too focused and fixated on what could potentially go wrong, which is what I think the Seven of Cups energy is associated with. So the thing is that with these two cards, they really talk about us recognizing where we belong is oftentimes exactly where we are, and where we want to be is not too far off, honestly. And that they really have this air of the music they are associated with, welcoming in a new experience, a new chapter in your life, so to speak, and that by embracing these energies lovingly and tenderly attending to them, you can see them blossom and bloom in ways that you weren't even expecting, ways that where your fearful nature or the lack of trust you have in your ability to be deserving of all of this would cause you to miss out on fantastic opportunities. And this doesn't feel like something that you want to miss, pile 6. And these two, Simikiel, the angel of vengeance, and Chakma, who represents wisdom, these cards are talking about you recognizing that if there have been people in your past who haven't done things to your benefit, they have received their comeuppance about that by being removed from your life. And that Chakma talks about you having gone through these things so that you can come to an understanding and a better respect for your light, your will, your sense of self. It's when we recognize that sometimes we are more beautiful than we know, that people who approach us are still navigating things that are coming from a place of ego, which is where they are trying to protect their damaged inner selves or their wounded inner child, that sometimes they can spit a lot of vile at us, they can tell a lot of lies that they're projecting onto us, and they can basically make a villain out of us, even though they approached us with this energy of wanting to be loved. And when you know that these things have nothing to do with you, they can't happen to you again, pile 6. Your past is the past, and you can free yourself of this illusion of pain being around every corner, and really starting to embrace what is happening here and now. But definitely wanted to emphasize that, pain isn't waiting around every corner anymore, pile 6. You've gone through it, you've been through it, and now it's time for you to give in to this happiness that is trying to come into your life, and recognizing that you have everything you need in order to coexist with this person. And I really hope that everything works out to your personal benefit. So if you would like, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Check the description box below for any new services or how to book a personal reading. And I thank you so much for coming here with me today. And I hope that you have the best life that you deserve, Pile 6 and everyone else. Bye-bye, loved ones.